Let's see if we can. Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. No, see that thing is not gonna move on the side. Hold up for a minute. Yeah. Yep, it's on. It's working. It's working. It's working. All right. Yeah, it's working. We good. We good. All right, let's clap it up. Clap it up. Right. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. We are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. We are who this Bible is speaking about. We are who this Bible is for. The Bible is for no other people. You understand? Everybody believes this Bible includes them, but it does not include them. You understand? This Bible only includes, and so if us, so if you're not black, Hispanic, or Native, this Bible is not about you. It's about us. Now it talks about some of the other nations within the Bible. You understand? But it's not about them. This Bible is our constitution. This Bible is our moral compass. This Bible tells us if we follow what the Most High tells us to do, you know, good things will happen. If not, then of course, bad things will happen. And as we can see, we living in terrible times right now. You understand? But slowly but surely, brothers and sisters are coming back into this truth. Brothers and sisters are coming back into understanding. You understand? And it's because of Commanding General Yohana and bringing this truth from the 7 heads that he came up under, you know, handing it down to us, and us carrying on the tradition is why people are coming back to this truth. You understand? Tonight's title is Babylon's Tactics to Oppression. You understand? Babylon's tactics to oppression. You understand? And what was Babylon? Somebody tell me, what was Babylon? What was Babylon? Babylon was a city, or excuse me, Babylon was a nation of people that we were under in captivity. We were in captivity under the Babylonians. You understand? We went into the Babylonian captivity. And what did the Babylonians do to us? What did the Babylonians do to us?
They introduced us to other gods.
Exactly. Other gods, other traditions, other culture. You understand? Look, think about it, right? One of those cultures that we traditionally follow today that really destroys us is that everybody is the same. You understand? That's a Babylonian tradition. One of the strongest empires was the Babylonian Empire because the Babylonians made us believe that everybody was the same and everybody should be included and everybody should do and worship the same thing. And that was the very thing that destroyed us as Israel. You understand? We following other nations, following other customs and cultures of other people is what really destroys us. Think about how many people celebrated Christmas. Think about how many people celebrated Thanksgiving. You understand? Think about how many of us celebrated bringing in this so-called New Year. That's why we're destroyed. And every time we get into the celebration of our oppressors' different customs and culture, we always end up on the butt end of the stick. You understand? We always end up destroyed. We always end up, something always ends up happening. Think about how many people didn't make it into the next day after celebrating Thanksgiving or Christmas or even New Year's. You understand? We have an infinity for our oppressor and in following our oppressor. You understand? And in following our oppressor always, that's not working. It keeps coming on and keeps going off. So And you ain't gonna worry about that. If anybody is down there, they'll call up. We'll get them in that way because I know Ramak's supposed to be coming through. But all of those customs and cultures that we follow is why we always on the bottom, and we on the bottom because we follow other people's customs and culture. When you walk into somebody else's house, you understand what I'm saying, and you're gonna be there for a minute. What do you have to do? What do you have to do? Get comfortable. Well, we do that. You know, us as Israel, we're gonna do that anyway, especially black people. We're gonna get comfortable anyway. But
you're gonna make sure that you follow at least the rules.
There you go. You hit it on the mark. We have to follow the rules. We follow the rules. So in any captivity that we go into, we follow their rules. And in following their rules, we end up following their customs and culture. You understand? And not to break off, but we always do, you know, the radio show before we do the class on Monday. We didn't get a chance to do it today, but you got those wildfires going on in California, right? Those wildfires going on in California are not just by happenstance. Of course, the Most High is destroying the empire of our oppressor. You understand? And in destroying the empire of our oppressor, I came across something real heavy. They were talking, what's the name of the community that's being destroyed now? The Palisade, California, something like that. I think it's Palisade, right?
Palisade.
Is anyway, think about this. It's being destroyed, but the original name was Topanga for the Topanga Indian. And let me make sure. Let me hold up, and before I hit too far on that, let me make sure I said that right, because I got a thing about saying stuff wrong, right? I want to make sure that I get it right. And being an old dude like I am, I should have wrote it down. Pride always destroys us. You know what I mean? I ain't old. Let me make sure. Hold on. Wait a minute. Make sure. Yep. Topanga. It's the Topanga. That area of Palisade the area is called the Topanga, which was the Topanga. It wasn't the Topanga was the area. It was named after a nation of natives that lived there before that our oppressor took the land from. Go ahead. Palisade. Yeah. Palisade. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, and it's the Topanga, and it was actually the Tongva people were the nation, the nation of Native Americans, or so-called Native Americans that were on that land. And Topanga means where the mountains meet the sea, or the mountains meet the water. You know what I mean? That's what the native word means. That Topanga means. And now the Most High is destroying that area. You understand? So, and the twisted thing about it now is it's also a negative about it, because with all of those fires going on in California, and we always talk about it, and I always talk about this every once in a while. I talk about this, that coming up back in the 80s, when those wildfires used to break out in California, they always had a firefighter count of how many firefighters got unalived in those fires. every year, those fires would happen every year. Lives of the firefighters would be lost. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to say it was in the late 90s into the early 2000s where we stopped hearing about those firefighter counts. Well, I was sitting in the house early this morning, watching the news early this morning, and they came out and said, we have been saying this for some years, they have 96 corrections inmates fighting those fires. 96 of them from the California Department of Corrections. They have 96 of it, and I believe it has to be more. But ever since those firefighters stopped perishing in those fires have still been getting extinguished. Those fires, and you can't just drop stuff on those fires from above and think that it's going to put out. You got to have people digging trenches and where those fires can stop moving so fast, because you still have the winds that take the ambers and make the ambers fly in different places. And that's how the fire spread. So what they try to do is dig trenches and stop the fires from hitting certain places so that they don't spread as fast. So like I said, from the late 90s into the early 2000s, we stopped hearing about all of those, firefighters' lives being lost in those fires. Well, when you're in the Department of Correction, when you become part of the property of the state, you don't have to be accounted for in any kind of numbers. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't have to be, they don't have to report to your family that you perished in a fire. You understand? And then they make all kinds of promises to these brothers. You understand? Time shortened, or you understand getting different things like that. And this is what has those brothers to go out and fight in those fires. You understand? And they use us as Israel because we fall into that anomaly of believing our oppressor. When our oppressor tells us, you understand, this is the way it should be, and we fall into that conundrum, and we believe, and then we do different things, and then we end up in positions like those brothers are in right now. You understand? This is one big melting pot. It's not one big melting pot. So then you see all of these immigrants from other countries coming over here living in Airbnbs, getting $5,000, $6,000 or $7,000 stipends, and then your house gets wiped out in the Carolinas, and they give you a dinner in $350 or something like that, and believe you're supposed to live off of that. You understand? And this is the reason why the Most High tells us, come out of them, my people. You understand? Because we are not a part of them. They understand that we are not a part of them. We are the ones that don't understand that we are not a part of them. Which is great say.
On Black Saturday, Jack Khan was bringing up that he knew a sister that was involved with flipping houses and all that kind of thing, old real estate did.
Right.
He said that when the Israelis came over,
right,
they were having a discussion about it. He's like, yeah, they over there, they about to put them in the ghetto or something, right? Right. She said, nah. She told him, don't tell nobody. They going to country clubs. That's what they saying. They get sent over here. Well, they going to country clubs.
Who thought they were going into ghettos?
I think he just said it.
Oh, okay. Nah. Think about this, right? They getting billions of dollars every year, right? The things that's going on over in the Middle East right now is causing them to flee over here. But believe you me, they have means when they come over here. Right. The whole thing is when they went over there into the Middle East, it was supposed to be like a country club in the Middle East. The people that are fleeing and coming back over here are people that have money already. The people that have businesses already. You know, now you have a lower class of Israelis that are over there that can't afford to come back over here right now. But believe you me, when they do come back over here, they're going to be taken care of. None of them will hit the ghetto. You'll never see that. You understand what I'm saying? You'll never see that. Listen, in the Bible, it tells you that the least will be above the least in the kingdom of heaven. Yeah. When they come back over here, they may be the least of their people, but they'll definitely be over top of us. Make no mistakes about it. You understand? That's just like rednecks. Right? They the lowest in their class, but they make sure the lowest in their class are above us. Just like those people, everybody that owns those corner stores, those Asians that own those corner stores, that's the least over there. If you're a millionaire, think about it. If you're a millionaire, let's just say in Vietnam or China or Korea, you're a millionaire in China or Korea. Do you leave China or Korea to come over here and run a corner store? No, you don't. Only the least. That's the reason why when they come over here, they give them a stipend, because they are confederate against us. The Bible tells us that. And in being confederate against us, they come over here with the intentions of coming to a land of milk and honey. That's a reality for all the other nations that come over here. You understand what I'm saying? This is the strategy that America uses against the children of Israel, meaning the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You'll never see an Afghan in a cage. You'll never see a Ukraine in a cage. You understand? You'll never see them by the millions in prisons in America. You understand what I'm saying? You'll never see them on the border living in tent cities on the borders of America. You'll never see that, because they are confederate against us. This is how America treats its slaves. Make no bones about it. We are slaves in America. We got people, they get a little job and they believe they're on top. You ever see Atlanta Housewives or Housewives of Potomac or Medical Wives, or you know all of those shows like that, right? They make us look at them, and then in the back of our mind, I have something to shoot for, not realizing that these people are slaves too. You ever heard of the $1 million slave, right? Yeah. We've heard of a $1 million slave. We are those $1 million slaves, them that are us. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. They can't say what they want to say. Right. They are dictated. I heard a brother say on a TikTok video one day, maybe about 2 weeks ago, how you gonna say we poor and we don't have opportunities? What country do you know that you can come to and we can drive these kind of cars? See how shallow we get? Or we can do what we want to do. See, everybody believes they're doing what they want to do. You understand? We think we're doing what we want to do. We're actually doing what they want us to do. Because a great percentage of us are out in the streets struggling. We believe we're doing what we want to do. And they have to let some of us, look like we're succeeding. So we'll have that vision of, this is what I'm shooting for. I'm going to follow and I'm going to do what he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? And think about this, right? Think about, if they not slaves, think about this. When all of those brothers went to go take a knee playing football and the NFL made them not take a knee. Think about it. You ever heard of what's the brother's name? that played for the Chicago Bulls. He was a shooting guard for the Chicago Bulls. He won the shooting title 3 years in a row. What's his name? Oh, man. Huh? No, for the Chicago Bulls when they won the championships. The first three. Yeah, the 90s. The first 3 championships. Oh, yeah. You know, and it's messed up too because they blurred him out. They blacked him out on here too. Yeah, they blacked him out on here. Everybody else picture in color. Here's in black and white. Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges, when they won the first championship, he took a letter to who was the president at the time in the 90s? Was that Bill Clinton?
The 90s, yeah.
The 90s?
92.
Yeah, he took a letter to Bill Clinton and told Bill Clinton how black people being treated wrong in America.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they ostracized them and then blackballed them, blacklisted him, and then he was off the team. But mind you, he had just won three 3-point championships in a row for the Chicago Bulls. See, when they can do stuff like that to you, that lets you know that you're still a slave. No matter how much money Michael Jordan didn't speak up for him, the face of the NBA at the time. He did an interview. He did an interview some years back talking about what happened to him and how nobody spoke up for him. You know what I mean? And how they do us in sports. Niggas don't take a knee. You take a knee, you out of here. Everybody standing up straight. Now you see brothers over there with their hand over their heart, saluting the flag now. You know? Every once in a while you'll see a brother that don't do nothing. Like my boy Beast Mode. Yeah, you know. You don't stand for none of that. But the whole point is we fall into these predicaments because we follow behind our oppressor, not understanding our oppressor has a strategy for us. Listen, I found an article about America's strategy against America's security, national security strategy, 2002, against the foreign nations. And the strategy that they use against the foreign nations is the same strategy that they use against us to push us to the bottom of the chart, to push us to the bottom of the totem pole, to keep us subjugated up under them. It's the same strategy that they use to destroy nations, to break nations up. You understand? Babylon has never loved its people. Babylon needs its people and to be in control over those people to thrive. America thrives off of us. America was built on us. America was built off the blood, sweat, and tears of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. So how could you celebrate a Thanksgiving? You understand? How could you celebrate a 4th of July? You understand? How can you celebrate a Christmas or a Thanksgiving or a New Year's? All of these things were done to keep us, you know, under the thumb of the oppressor. And then they turn around and they have celebrations about what they did to us. Then they throw a what? What's the holiday that they gave us?
Guarantee.
Juneteenth. Say that again.
They gave us Black History.
Yeah, yeah. They gave us. Think about this. They gave us Black History Month, right? But it doesn't. It doesn't. Black History Month encapsulates the great things that we did for them. You understand? Black History Month encapsulates all of the great things that we did to make America great.
Think about it. Nobody from this school has a part of in Black History Month.
Exactly.
Honestly, I have a paper in the hallway.
Right.
And it have all the people that include Black History Month.
Right.
I don't see one person from this school on that paper.
Yeah, you're not gonna see that either. You understand? Because we talk against the things that America speaks up for. And just like Commanding General Yohana said, right? Think about the thing, and I never really thought about it. Excuse me, General Mahine could have been Commanding General Yohana, right? Whenever they make a statue to any of our people, it's because that person worked towards the goals of America. You understand? We work towards helping America be great and keep us enslaved. Think about in talking about that, think about the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started in 1954. 1954. You understand? And we still fighting for civil rights. And everybody says that Martin Luther King was a great man for civil rights. But every other nation comes over here, benefits off of civil rights. And we don't. If we benefited off of civil rights, we wouldn't be fighting for civil rights right now. This is a strategy that America uses because we, for the most part, about 90% of us believe that we have civil rights. And if we had civil rights, then we wouldn't be going through the things that we're going through. We wouldn't constantly be fighting for our people being destroyed by the oppressor. And then the thing is we get so upset when we get unalived by the oppressor, but we don't get upset when we get unalived by our own people. The first thing that we have to do is stop unaliving our own people, stop unaliving our own warriors, and then we can tackle that right there. You understand what I'm saying? What you Gray said? What you got?
I was about to say, don't the oppressors say leave the past in the past?
Well, that's what the oppressor tells us. But if we leave the past in the past, then we are going to continue to be under the thumb of our oppressor because we're going to forget what happened to us in the past.
They let us, but they don't let us keep sinning in the past.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
They don't let us sin. They don't let the sinning from us in the past. They don't be like, nah, that's in the past. You don't sin no more. That was in the past.
No, yeah, they don't tell us not to sin anymore. They want us to sin because they know as long as we stay in iniquity with the Most High, we're going to stay on the bottom. And they're going to continue to be our oppressors. As long as we don't follow the Most High, we keep sinning, we stay on the bottom, and then they keep their foot on our necks. The only way we get that foot off of our necks is if we follow the Most High. How do we follow the Most High?
By getting in school.
And what else?
In the school.
And what else? And
follow
what? And follow the. There you go. Follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. You know that. You said that before. You know what I mean? We got to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how we come from under the foot of our oppressor. That's how we stop being a rug. That's how we stop being a stepping stone, you know? Hey, Alice, I'm great. Send this to you. I don't even know if I can do this. No, I'm going to read it myself because I ain't going to be able to do it. Go ahead.
You bring it up. This is Judah, chapter 5, verse 21.
Oh, let me get to that. Let me get to it.
Yeah. Just to give a backdrop on it. There was a
Judah chapter 5, verse 21.
Yeah. There was an army that was coming up against Jerusalem.
Right.
Against Judah. And no, against Israel. So
yeah, this is a great the perfect precept to that. Exactly. Yep.
This is more like pleading with a general.
Right.
That planning on attacking Israel.
Go ahead, read it.
It said, this is Judah chapter 5, verse 21. But I'm sorry, 20.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their God.
You heard that? Said if there be any error against this people, if they're doing anything wrong and they sin against their God, go ahead.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Listen, going up against the Most High, if we go against the Most High, then all the nations will overrun us. Think about it, right? The nations have actually overrun us already because all of them are in our neighborhoods because we sin against the Most High, because we are in iniquity with the Most High, because we don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. This is the reason why the Asians are in our neighborhoods. This is the reason why the Arabs are in our neighborhoods. This is the reason why the Africans are in our neighborhoods. This is the reason why we don't run any of those stores in our neighborhoods. This is the reason why the East Indians are in the liquor stores. You understand? This is the reason why we don't run anything. We don't own anything. Our oppressor owns all of the houses and all the land in our neighborhoods. We fighting for corners that we don't even own. How is that? That's how destroyed we are. That's following your oppressor. That's a strategy that our oppressor has against us. Because think about it, right? They allow us to fight over neighborhoods as long as we don't interfere with what they're doing and don't begin to unalive their people. They don't mind us destroying each other because that works in their favor. Just like an army, if one man goes down, it's the next man up. They know that they can continue to fill the ghettos with us. Doesn't matter how many of us die every year. What do they let you do? They allow us to march when we marching out there saying stop the violence, because they know they have the tools to stop the violence. And as long as they don't remove their tools, the violence is going to stay. No matter how many mothers cry, no matter how many fathers march out there, no matter how many children perish or unalived. You understand? Go ahead.
And just like just piggyback what you said, it ain't no we bluff. Like we got the most famous bluffing is lying when it comes to when we march. We say no justice,
no peace.
And we ain't about to bust a break or nothing like it. No justice, no peace, but no violence. Yet we start breaking up property.
Give us peace or else what?
Right.
You understand?
It don't do nothing.
That was that Al Sharpton.
Right.
Peace or else what? And the thing about it is, he's a cog in their system. And remember, I use this all the time. Remember, I talk about the Borg, right?
Yeah.
On Star Trek, The Next Generation. You understand? It's another concept. The Borg comes in. The Borg makes you believe that we are here to make you better. This is what America does to us. We're going to give you all the opportunity to be better. Move out and come with us and be part of us. If you're part of us, then it's going to make the world better. And then the Borg makes you a part of them, and you become a part of the Borg. And then the next thing you know, you're destroyed. Your whole life is destroyed. And the next thing you know, the Borg wipes out that planet and moves on to the next planet. America wipes out your neighborhood and moves on to the next neighborhood. America wipes out your son and moves on to the next child, moves on to the next father, moves on to the next mother, moves on to the next family. Because this is not our rest, as the scripture tells us. You understand? We get too comfortable in America. And we get so comfortable that we get blinded. We believe that America is here to help us, when America is not here to help us at all. You understand? Go ahead.
I was watching a documentary talking about like how like Christmas was celebrated during slavery time. And the thing is, and I feel like we got that, you know what I mean, that feel good, nostalgia type feeling with it, because that was the day that he got treated the best.
Right.
He had to work, you know what I mean? Like he was, every day he was comfortable. It was Christmas Day, he was comfortable.
Let's go one step further, right? Let's go back. Let's go back to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was the destruction of the Native American Indians, right?
Yeah.
And then Black Friday, which was the day after Thanksgiving, was the sale of us. So think about this, right? On Thanksgiving, they were celebrating the destruction of, the Native American Indians. And then and that night of Thanksgiving, they would have black men fight, killing each other to see who was the strongest and who was the best. Whoever lost that fight would get sold the next day, Black Friday. So what happened was a lot of people knew that it was going to be a lot of slaves on sale on that Friday. So they would get up early in the morning and get to the auction blocks early in the morning so that they could be the first to get the first shots at the slaves that were on sale. They would sell those slaves cheap and keep the slaves that won. See, so Black Friday is not something that just started. Black Friday has always been. We have always been sold to the highest bidder. Then we've been ridiculed, mocked, and treated like trash, then sold to the lowest bidder. We just don't know our history. Just like Daraj said earlier, you understand? We have to remember the things that have happened to us, or we'll keep being out there on that Black Friday early in the morning, pushing and fighting and scrapping with other people just to buy a TV that was outdated anyway, that's on sale. You understand? That's really the price that the TV should be anyway.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It should be that. Listen, remember those big John huge box TVs with the big back used to sit out like that? Was heavy as all outdoors. I remember when them TVs was $3,500, almost $4,000. You don't see them no more, but you can see, think about it. You can see a 46-inch TV now. You can get them for like $299. And remember when they first came out, $1,000, $1,500 and all that? Good. What you ready to say, Daraj?
There was a verse in the Bible. I forgot the chapter and verse and title, but it was like saying like, don't hate your brother, don't hate your brother, don't hit your brother, don't fight your brother for no reason. Right,
that's brotherhood. Ain't that what we got in here? We love our brothers, right? We work with our brothers, and we stay brotherly with our brothers. And you're not supposed to. You're right. You're not supposed to.
And if God said don't do it, don't do it.
Exactly.
Just because you want that TV doesn't mean you're not about to die that next night.
Right.
Either you gonna die,
Right.
get that TV,
Right.
or you better stay a slave.
We gonna live. We gonna live and do what God tell us, right? Exactly. You know. Hey boy, you lucky. You lucky as somebody. Well, I'm gonna make me a baby tonight. Hey, look, check this out, right? I got this article right here. Not an article, but this is if you go online, right, you can pull up the 2002 National Security Strategy for the United States, right? 2002 National Security Strategy. And within that security strategy is under let me see, what is it under? It's under yep. And if you put in it's a little box up the top, and you can put in strategy 2002 strategy. It'll take you to the right page.
We'll put it in again right there, 2002.
Yeah. Once you get to it, you put in there 2002. Oh, matter of fact, no, don't put that in there. I'm gonna tell you what to put in there. The strategy concept of preemption. The strategy concept of preemption. Concept of preemption. Now, preemption, EEMPTION.
You said 2M? I mean 2E?
Yeah, preemption, yeah.
PREEMP.
Yep.
TION.
Yep. And let me know when you get that.
Okay.
You got it? And then if you go down to, it says the National Security Strategy of the United States of America.
That's gonna be the third.
That's you see Condoleezza Rice, Dr. Con, you see that? See the one over top of it? Yeah, it says National Security Strategy.
I seen her name.
Yeah, touch the one that says National Security Strategy of the United States of America. Listen, America puts this information of evil inside of these security strategies, and it is so much writing that you try to read through it, and it's like you have to be able to pinpoint where they put the stuff that they do to other nations. Preemption. The preemption means that they can go in and they can attack another nation if they think that nation is going to attack them. They can attack another nation. This is in this security strategy. They can attack another nation even if they don't have evidence that that nation is going to attack them. They can attack another nation if they think this nation has weapons of mass destruction, WMD. They can attack this nation even if they say that nation has weapons of mass destruction, but they know that that nation doesn't have weapons of mass destruction. It's in this security strategy right here. So America does the same. Now listen to me. America, all of this stuff that was written in 2002, the way they can attack a nation without having any evidence is the same thing that they do to us. See, America tests out their strategies on us then uses them against the other nations. So now, think about Tamir Rice. Police just jumped out and unalived him. No evidence that he had a real gun. He had a toy gun, a bright red gun. Of course, who has a bright red gun? That's a real gun. A 12-year-old. Breonna Taylor, unalive. Police kicking in her door. And then they just get to shooting. Her boyfriend get to shooting back. They put the charges on the boyfriend because he was protecting his household. You understand what I'm saying? No evidence that they were being attacked, but they attacked. Preemption. You understand? What's the brother that got unalived on the subway? Neely, Jordan Neely. Unalived by an oppressor on the subway because he thought that their lives was in danger. Even after the people said this dude been on here for years doing the same thing. No evidence. Think about it, right? 125 pounds versus 175 pounds. And three other people holding you down. Wasn't even law enforcement. A Marine at that. In this, and I'm gonna read a part of it for you because man, this thing is so vast, and it's at part 5. You'll see the it says prevent our enemies from threatening us, our allies and our friends with weapons of mass destruction. You see that? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the top part. Because the other part is way down in the article. It's so far down in the article, I already knew because I be listening to these geopolitical analysts, and they come on and they talk about the things that America does. And they talk about all of the articles and all of the strategies that they write, and then they actually pick apart and analyze all of this stuff. Well, one of them had mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, yo, where's that at? And I started digging. He said where it was at. I just had to go into and find the right part and then find it. But this is by President Bush, right? It says the gravest danger to freedom lies at the crossroads of radicalism and technology, when the spread of chemical and biological and nuclear weapons, along with ballistic missile technology, when that occurs, even weak states and small groups could attain a catastrophic power to strike great nations. Our enemies have declared this very intention and have been caught seeking these terrible weapons. They want the capability. Think about this. Now listen to this part. They want the capability to blackmail us. So let me ask you a question. How many times has America blackmailed other countries? Now, let's think about what the blackmail and how America blackmails the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. I'm going to go with the other countries first, right? How do they blackmail the other countries?
Put like five in there. They come out with information. That's right. That's right. But the main way that they do it, just like you said, right? They use the spies, but they cause upheaval in the government. Right.
They cause a government to fracture.
Yeah.
Right? They destabilize the government. They make the government fall apart. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So once the government falls apart, everything goes in chaos. Now just look at Haiti. They unalived the president of Haiti, and now Haiti is in an uproar. It's being torn apart. So now what happens is what they're trying to do is they're trying to place a president in Haiti that has the same values as themselves, so that now they can be in control of Haiti. But those gangs in Haiti aren't allowing that to happen. It's not always easy for America, but America has a lot of time to wait people out. So now, once they get into a destabilized country, then they begin to offer aid, right? When they offer aid, what happens when they offer aid? They offer aid under stipulations. Say, all right, we'll give you this, but this is what you have to do. You have to be a democratic nation. And in order to be a democratic nation, we have to place people over here to run this democracy. So they place people in that position that has the values and the intentions of America first. This is how you destabilize a nation. Well, think about what they do to us. How do they destabilize us as a people? How do they blackmail us as a people? We got questions on there? He's at the door. Yeah, go ahead. See if he call him back first. See if he's still there. Okay. Listen, how does America destabilize us as a people? What do they offer us? They come in and do what? Go ahead. What Darash? Tell me what they do.
By like telling us to celebrate the holiday that they made up to the children.
That too, right? But what do they do? The major thing that they do is they come in and they destabilize our families. Right? They destabilize our families and they make our families fall apart. You understand? When our families fall apart, you understand? Our families begin to need help. How y'all doing? What's going on, bro? Shalom, Lord Christ. What's going on with you? It's good to see you. What's going on, sis? How you feeling today? You hanging out with Pops today? I hear that. So I was asking the question, right? The question is how does America destabilize? We actually was talking about how America destabilizes other nations. And now we're comparing how they destabilize other nations with how they destabilize the black family. How they destabilize other nations is they go in, right? They go into a nation and they first destabilize the government. Once the government is fractured, then the government falls apart and then everything goes into chaos. Once everything goes into chaos, America steps in and tries to place people who has the values of America in power, so that now when America steps in, if any resources are in that nation, America is the first one to be able to touch and put their hands on all the resources. That's another thing too, right? So America destabilizes families by tearing the family apart. The first thing that they do is do what? What? Separate man. Take the man out of the way, right? What's that scripture? Can we get that? First bind the strong man. Hey, we got any water? Can I get a water? If it's a warm one in there, give me a warm one. Is that Matthew? My man. Good looking. Let me know when you Mark. Okay, grab it. Because if you know it's one in Mark and it's in Matthew too. Let me grab that for me.
This is Mark chapter 3, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods.
Think about what that's saying, right? No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. What's his goods? His family, his riches, his authority. You understand? His authority. The one thing that the man has in his house is his authority. A man, no man can enter to a strong man's house and spoil his goods if he's following what the Most High told him. You understand? If a man is following the Most High, can't come into his house and spoil his goods. You can't come into his house and take his authority, because that man will always be in alignment with the Most High. And when we're in alignment with the Most High, we can't break our oppressor's laws. You understand? Yeah, destroying, taking his riches, taking his goods, but his authority is the main thing. And the thing is that we have lost a lot of our authority. A lot of our authority has been given to our oppressor. And our women need that authority of us over them, or they're going to be destroyed too. I seen a dude, it was a crazy thing that I seen on the internet last week, right? The dude said, when you look at our women do everything like the oppressor. The oppressor's woman puts in the contacts, the blonde hair, and destroying her body, changing her face color. The realest thing about us is we don't do that following behind our oppressor or the man. But the thing that we do that messes us up is we give away our authority. We let emotion help us to make our families fall apart. Emotionally, when you don't follow the Most High, you're giving your family away. That emotion, will tear between. You're not thinking rationally. Now you're thinking emotional. Now you're going to put your hands on your woman, or you just going to roll out and go somewhere and leave your family alone, all for the wolves to come in and devour. You understand? Go ahead, finish that. Oh, you got something? Go ahead. You got something?
No, you can me finish the latter part of that scripture.
That's what I was saying. Go ahead. That's what I was saying. Go ahead.
What we had in Judah. Yeah, Judah. When the Moab.
Oh, dang. We way off, huh? Yeah. We done jumped. We can go back to that. Yeah. But let's finish this one real quick.
Yeah. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods.
Right? And spoil his goods, give up his authority, give up his family, give up his children. You understand? Give up his wife. Go ahead.
Except he will first bind the strong man.
How do you bind that strong man?
Lock him up.
Lock him up. What else?
Get him out the house.
What else?
Take his authority.
Yeah.
Drugs, LGBTQ. You understand?
White man's army.
Yeah, you understand? Our oppressor's army. Think about the things that can bind that strong man. Think about what happens to our brothers and our sisters when they go off into the our oppressor's army or our oppressor's service. You understand? They come back destroyed, because the things that you go in for, you realize it's not like it looks on TV. You understand that, come in here and be all you can be. You understand? We not afforded that. Think about this. Even in World War, if I'm not mistaken, it was World War II, fighting the Germans. You understand? You fighting side by side with your oppressor, but they got the Germans, what they call them in camps, right? They going out with the Germans, having fun with the Germans, eating with the Germans, and making us go in the back and eat somewhere else. We can't eat alongside. We can fight alongside you, but we can't eat alongside you. I'm not saying that I want to. I don't even want to be in his army. You understand? Yeah, it's the principle though. You understand? He understands that that German is him. They the same. They just got a different name, but they the same people. And that's how we have to look at it. When we see blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we have to understand that we are the same people. We have to love beyond what's going on or beyond the conflict, because that's the strategy that our oppressor uses to keep us apart. The title of tonight's class is Babylon's Strategy Against Babylon's Tactics of Oppression. Babylon's Tactics of Oppression. That was my first title, the other. But Babylon's Tactics of Oppression. America has tactics of oppression that it uses against us to keep us oppressed the way we are. We keep thinking, and I hear people say, "Oh, we got every opportunity. We have opportunity just like everybody got the same opportunity." No, they don't. What's redlining? Redlining is not used against our oppressor. That's used against us. That's to control where we live at. You understand? Even in the insurance game, when you go get homeowners insurance or when you go get car insurance, they had first thing they ask you where you live at. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to know who you are or what you are, and then they're going to charge you accordingly. Oh, he black, charging this. You ever see oppressors walk around and say, "Oh, I only pay $67 a month. I got 4 cars and 3 bikes and motorcycles." Listen, I worked at Lockheed Martin part-time, and there was an oppressor that worked over there with me, right? He had 3 cars, 2 motorcycles, and I kid you not, he paid like $200 and something for all his vehicles. He had a 6th grade education. First off, how he working at Lockheed Martin with a 6th grade education? How he driving a truck for a government agency with a 6th grade education? He was talking to me one day. He said, they called me to the office and I thought they was going to fire me because they found out I only went to the 6th grade. I'm looking at him saying like, yo, I'm struggling like a mother. And he pulled up in his Ford 3500 dually. He had got lights put all the way around that monster. Had the lights come on when you open the door. The lights come on at the what's the name? And I'm saying like, that's oppression. That's oppression. Oppression maketh the wise man mad. We get mad when we see what's happening, but instead of being emotional, we think rational, and we do what the Most High tells us. Cry aloud, spare not. Wake your people up. Speak to your people. Let your people know about the oppression that's going on. Let them know that if they follow me, this oppression can fall off of their back. You understand? This is the way we come back to the Most High. Remember, we are judged as a nation. You're not judged individually. That's what the Christian church tells you. That's another oppressive piece by our oppressor, the Christian church. That's the Babylonian way. That's everybody is equal. All we have to do is work together. Let's build this temple. You understand? This is how destroyed we are as a people. We don't recognize, just like the Raj said earlier, we got to remember. Because if we forget, we're going to continue to stay under the thumb of our oppressor. Was we finished that scripture? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
And then he will spoil his house. That's what happened, right? Once you bind that strong man, you take his authority. Then when you take his authority, what do? You give it to, his woman. Now that his woman has the authority, now she rules over him. You understand? So now she destroys him, destroys her, and then destroys the children, and all in the same stroke. All just by binding the strong man. There are many vices that they use to bind the strong man, whether it be public housing, whether it be welfare, whether it be child support. You understand? All of these things bind us. All of these things are a strategy against us. All of these things are the thing that keeps us under the thumb of our oppressor. And listen, right here in this article, right? Again, it says, our enemies have declared this very intention and have been caught seeking these terrible weapons. And listen, this is what they do. Our enemies have these terrible weapons. They want the capability to blackmail us, or to harm us, or to harm our friends, and we will oppose them with all our power. Listen to this. I'm going to rewind it. Our enemies have declared this intention. They have been caught seeking these terrible drugs. They have been caught seeking this welfare. If we can put them on welfare, we know we can give that woman an opportunity to be able to fend for herself. Then she won't need her man. Then we can get him out of the house and we can destroy the children. These are the same tactics they have been using on us for years. This 2002 national security strategy is nothing that they haven't been doing to us since we hit the shores of America. We just have to recognize. And listen, it wasn't until I saw this that all of that stuff started banging back. You understand? Now, when you flip down, when you go down to the bottom of the article, and each one of these are like little like mission statements. You understand? And how we can control other nations. And I don't know if are you down at the bottom of that? All right. Listen to this, right? It says the United States will not use force in all cases to preempt emerging threats. Listen, it says we will not use preempt in emerging threats. Did I just do that? It says we will. Oh, well, let me go back above that. All right. You at the article, right? You at the article. Which one did you go in? I'm down at, if you see each one is numbered. This is an overview of America's international strategy, the overview. That's number one. If you go down a little bit. And that's June 1st, 2002. Then it says number 2 is champion aspirations for human dignity. But if you go all the way down to number 5, and it's in Roman numerals. You see where I'm at? Remember where I said that Condoleezza Rice, if you would have touched the one that was over top of it?
Okay. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, you click the first one, and then then you got to drop down all the way down to number 5. You'll see in Roman numeral number 5.
Yeah.
See Roman numeral number 5? It says prevent our enemies. No. Just gonna read that. But now it says where it says prevent our enemies from threatening us. You see that?
Is that the first line?
Yeah. Oh, if you see number 5, it's in the title. That's the title of it. You see that, right? So now if you drop down to, let me see, paragraph number 1, 2, 3. You go all the way down to the bottom just before you hit 6. You see where 6 is at?
After the bullet point.
Yeah, after you see ignite a new era. Number 6, Roman numeral number 6. Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
All right, now if you bounce up 3 paragraphs, it says the United States will use force in all cases to preempt emerging threats.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Nor should nations use preemption as a pretext for aggression. This right here, preempt, to preempt means that we don't have to see the threat to go after the threat. To preempt is it doesn't have to be seen. And in this paragraph, it also says that even if we don't have evidence of that threat, we can still go after it. So if it's not no evidence of a threat, how do you go after it? This is the evil of America. You understand what I'm saying? When you get a chance, because it's long, right? But when you get a chance, read the bottom of that right there. Those last 4 paragraphs. Just read those last 4 paragraphs. Those last 4 paragraphs show the evil in America. And like I said, because they write so much and then they do it for a purpose so that you really don't see what you read. Just like before we came into the truth, I read the Bible, I don't know how many times all the way through. But when I came into the truth, the stuff that they were showing me, I could never remember reading that. Because we don't read for understanding. We read just to say, I read that. You understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I read that. Well, what did it say? I don't know. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until I came into the truth that I began to read for understanding. And the only way we're gonna get proper understanding is through the ISUPK. That's where we get this understanding, and we know how to break the Bible down. You start reading stuff, and I read something, and I said, "Damn, I read that before," but I never thought that's what it was talking about. You understand? We off in thinking like our oppressor, or like our oppressor made us think. These are strategies that they use, even in schooling. We are schooled by the oppressor so that they can put the propaganda solidly into our minds. The first thing that you learned as a child in school was what? We say this all the time. What's the first thing you learned as a child in school that meant something?
The Pledge of Allegiance.
There you go. The Pledge of Allegiance. Not understanding that when you learn the Pledge of Allegiance, you're pledging your allegiance away from your people and into the allegiance of your oppressor. So now you're pledging to fight tooth and nail for your oppressor against your own people. Because that's what we do on the streets every day. You see brothers that'll unalive each other at the drop of a dime, but the oppressor come around and they hang their heads. You understand? Because that's the national strategy. That's the strategy of the oppressor, is to make you think that your people are less and they are more, when we should be riding the horses and they should be walking. Right? You understand? We have to change the minds of our people. That's why we go out there on them corners. That's why we speak to our people. That's why we break it down, what's in this Bible, to give our people understanding. Just like the Ross said earlier, we can't forget. We can't forget. Because when we forget, then we fall into that category with our oppressor. And whenever you fall into the category with your oppressor, we fall to the bottom. Since 1954, we've been fighting for civil rights, and we're still out there fighting for it. An Asian gonna come across that border and have the civil rights that we've been fighting for since 1954. Those Afghans are coming over here and they already got civil rights. The Ukrainians gonna be over here in a minute getting civil rights. The Arabs already got civil rights. The Africans got civil rights. The Asians, we've been new got it. They got so much civil rights. They fighting for being oppressed by Yale and Harvard. You feel me? They got so uppity that they bringing charges against Yale and Harvard. Oh, there are not enough Asians. You know? We still fighting for the basics. Come out of her, my people. We destroy when we looking at ourselves and we don't have the understanding that everything that we need is right here in these scriptures. Think about it, right? The Bible, and we say this every week, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We have the power to change our condition. All we got to do is follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. The strength is right here. I'm looking at the strength right there. He's teaching this young brother right here. Made me want to go home and make another baby. So I could bring him up just like that. You know? Bring him up just like that. You know what I mean? I look at him. Listen, we've been seeing Daraj since he was little itty bitty. Look at him. How old you, Daraj?
7.
Damn. He already got it at 7. Imagine, you got yours here. I be looking at y'all like, damn, gonna make me a couple of them. I'm a outbeat y'all. How y'all can't have this? You know what I mean? Look at it. Train up a child in the way he should go. You understand? Y'all doing that. Man, I want to do it. You know? Think about this, right? America got in control. Listen, America is falling, right? Babylon is falling. They came into power. Think about this, right after World War II. All of the other nations were destroyed. All of the big nations were destroyed. And what was that? World War II started in 1939, right? World War II ended in 1945. America entered World War II in 1941. This is the difference, though, right? A lot of the nations were fighting on multiple fronts. America was fighting on multiple fronts, but the front that they were fighting on, the Pacific front, they were fighting against the Japanese. Most of the time, it was multiple nations fighting against multiple nations, but America lucked up. America was fighting just against the Japanese. America entered into Normandy in D-Day, which we all know in history, in 1944. The war was over in 1945. D-Day was one of the worst days in modern war history. So many people died on the beaches of Normandy, right? America didn't suffer the casualties that all of these other nations suffered. These other nations were fighting on multiple fronts from 1939 all the way to 1945. America was fighting a nation in Japan that really wasn't that strong. So they weren't the casualties. It was casualties, but they weren't suffering the casualties that the Germans were suffering, that the Soviet Union was suffering, that Italy was suffering, that France was suffering, that Great Britain was suffering. You understand? So at the end of 1945, the only nation that stood strong was America. And America had a plan. America's plan was, now we can take over and be what they call it, unilateral power of the earth. So in being the unilateral power of the earth, they created the United Nations.
Russia too, though.
Well, that's the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union at the time, that's the USSR. That's Russia. You know, but remember, Stalin was crippled at that time. The Soviet Union was not strong like it was at that time. You understand? A world war tears everybody up, and America was the only nation that had no war in its homeland. We did not get touched. They attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. You understand? But nobody dropped a bomb on America. So America didn't lose any industries. America didn't lose anything. So they created the United Nations. And once they created the United Nations, they gave 5 nations veto power to veto anything. Those 5 nations was America, it was China, it was the USSR, it was
England,
France,
Britain.
Great Britain. Great Britain, and it was another nation. It was another nation. I want to say France.
I feel like it's France.
Hold up. Let me see. Hold on. Because I got to get it right. Can't get it wrong. Hold on. All right. Because now there's the permanent seats in the United Nations. There's 5 permanent seats in the United Nations. See what we can get.
What, Spain?
No. Okay, China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and the United States. Veto power, France, yeah. You understand? But France is weakened terribly now. France has no power now. You understand? But if you look at it, you have France, United States, China, Russia, and who else? Great Britain. 4 of those nations are what? European. So regardless of what happens with everybody else in the United Nations, including the 193 African nations, the Europeans have the veto power. China got brought in by Russia.
They all that agenda always be alive.
Their agenda is always to have control, just like the United States has to have ultimate control, because they were the unilateral power after World War II. They seized control of everything. So when they begin to rebuild these other nations, now I got you under my thumb. So if I rebuild this nation, then this is what you have to do for me. That's why all of those other nations follow like they do. You understand? That's why those other nations don't stand up when they vote for something and America says no. One veto. How does one veto cancel everybody out? but nobody can cancel out America's veto. You know? And with that, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969, and what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called black, so-called Hispanics, and so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. Our oppressors, the devil that the Bible speaks
That's
of.
right.
With that, pass the class over to priest officer.
Right. These are security announcements. You are the ISU PK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're here to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandments. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, and is pronounced Ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, we got Slotty. I think the next high holy day we have is Purim. Slotty. What's the next high holy day? Is it Purim? It's Purim. Con. What's the date?
Thursday, March 13th.
March 13th.
To Friday, March 14th.
March 13th to 14th, Purim. Remind Akim Al-Watium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Mayim, which means to stand. Maya Shabbat, Mayim, Barak, Yahweh Shim Yashah Rakatah, Yashamatah, Saul, turn to the sister. Men of Israel, Mayim Shabbat, Mayim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Adatham Bashim Yashah. Jasmine Matai, Class dismissed.